Hi, it's me, Daphne. Welcome back to my channel. And it's been a while since I've posted on this channel. Not that long. Some of you probably haven't noticed, but it's been about 3 weeks for me since I've posted on here. I just needed some time to just focus on work and real life stuff and just taking a step back so I could regroup on my priorities and stuff. But I still love YouTube and I'm so excited to catch up on some videos with you. So here I am doing my March TBR pretty late into the month, but I still wanted to share with you the things I hope to read. Plus I haven't finished any books yet this month. I'm almost done with 2 of them, so I'm still gonna count them for this TBR, and I kind of did that on purpose because it felt weird to put something on a TBR that I finished. Let's dive into the books that I plan to read in March and some hopeful reads as well. I'm going to talk to you first about the books that I'm currently reading. I am in the middle of Before the Coffee Gets Cold. I got this from my friend Maddie when we did a little book exchange. This is a Japanese translated book with elements of time travel in it. It takes place in this tiny little hole-in-the-wall cafe where it's very known that it has magical powers to travel back in time, and it's like an urban legend, but not everybody believes that they can do it. And there are a lot of rules behind how you can travel back in time and what can be done in the past and all this stuff. It has 4 shorter-ish stories. I mean, it's not a very long book, but they all kind of tie together. There are a bunch of like familiar characters from the cafe workers and the visitors of the cafe and things like that. I am enjoying it so far. I will tell you, I sobbed. I've already sobbed reading this book, reading the second story. If you know, you know. That one just personally hit home really hard for me. When I say sob, like I mean like body shaking. Not just tears, like body shakes. Like, so yeah, that was a really cool experience to have with this. So we'll see how I like it. I only have 1 story left. And I'm also in the middle of this other book called All Scot and Bothered. This is the second book in a historical romance series. We have a curvy, redheaded heroine who isn't titled or anything. She just came into her inheritance from her maternal aunt, who owned this gambling hall / school for women. It doesn't have the best reputation, and the hero is the like chief justice or something who is investigating this gambling hall and doesn't realize she now owns it. She's like hidden her identity. But he is basically already obsessed with her because he knows her through social circles and stuff and just finds her so beautiful, so attractive, and he just is trying his best to resist her. And it's this like secret identity moment, her like working in like a seedier business and him being like all high and mighty and I'm so virtuous kind of energy, and them butting heads and stuff like that, but also trying to like work together to solve like this nefarious thing that's going on that he thought she was involved with, but she's like, I'm not involved with this. So let's find out who really is. I'm almost done with that. I'm like 80+% of the way through that. I'm not gonna edit this that much, okay? We're just warming up and the sun is setting. I'm sitting in a new spot. I kind of like it. Also, these flowers my friend Monica got me for my anniversary, which was really kind, and they smell lovely. They're lavender. So yeah, I'm just trying to keep this kind of couch because I'm on limited time here. The sun is gonna set any moment. Honestly, you should see the view. The view is beautiful. Where's my phone? I'll show you. The sunset over here is just gorgeous. Here's the sunset. I love how it hits the buildings in Brooklyn and doesn't shine into my eyeballs, which is nice because it's actually behind us. But yeah, it's really pretty. This is East River. That's the Manhattan Bridge. Brooklyn Bridge peeking out through there. Wow, you guys get a really good view. Zooms in way better than my fancy camera. And here you guys are. Anyway, let's continue. As I say, the sun is setting. I'm like fucking around. Then I have the books that I have to read for book clubs and stuff. So for my IRL book club here in my apartment building, we've chosen Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. This is like a suspense, thriller, crime kind of story. It's short. It's not that long. I just picked this up in like a little free library a long time ago. So when somebody recommended that, I was like, oh, I own that. Perfect. I love it when we pick books that I already physically have on my TBR. That way it forces me to read my physical TBR, which is great. That is just what I need in my life. It sounds like this woman is like a reporter or a journalist or something. She just came out of a psych hospital and she's returning to her tiny hometown to report on these murders of these 2 teenage girls. She hasn't really spoken to her neurotic hypochondriac mother, or her half-sister. Oh, her half-sister's only 13. So she's living now at her family's Victorian mansion, and she finds herself identifying with these young victims a bit too much. So I'm sure there's going to be things that are obviously revealed about her past, maybe things that she's buried mentally in her mind. I mean, she did go to a psych hospital. It's like, what have you got buried in your brain? It says, dogged by her own demons, she must unravel the psychological puzzle of her own past if she wants to get the story and survive this homecoming. Intrigued. I don't think I've ever read anything by this author before, so I think it'll be fun to read this style of book for book club, to see like where we're all surprised, what we saw coming, and like how we're puzzling it together and all that stuff. Yeah, I think this will be a fun book club pick. That's also what I love about book clubs, is that it makes you read things outside of your norm. So yeah, excited about that. Moving on, then I have my family book club. So we kind of went a couple months without kind of clarifying what we were gonna read. Some of the members read like one of the books that was put on the table. Like I suggested a bunch of diverse books that we could read that I already own, you know, me strategizing. I think 2 of the people already finished it, but like me and somebody else didn't finish it yet. So we're like, can we just give us more time to catch up? So we're gonna discuss it at the beginning of April. So I have to read it in March, and it's called River, Sing Me Home. This is a Caribbean book, I believe. The tagline here says, rare, moving, powerful, this beautiful page-turning and redemptive story of a mother's gripping journey across the Caribbean to find her stolen children in the aftermath of slavery is a remarkable debut. It sounds like this family, or these slaves, are on this plantation, and the Emancipation Act of 1834 comes into effect. However, the slave owner is like, no, you're not my slaves anymore, but you're my apprentices, and you can't leave. So you have to work for me for another 6 years, pretty much, even though I'm gonna say that you're not slaves. This mother seems to be trying to find her children who were sold. I'm sure it's going to be so sad, but so moving. Also, it's historical, obviously, so I'm intrigued to learn what happened in this community in the Caribbean in like such a like close perspective, you know, not just like an overarching like this is what happened, but like being there with the mother and experiencing it through her eyes, I'm sure is going to be beautiful. And yeah, I'm excited to talk about this with my Caribbean family members. If you don't know, I am Chinese, Jamaican, and Black, with a little bit of other stuff mixed in as well. My family members are Chinese Jamaican. They're 100% blood Chinese, but born and raised in Jamaica. Caribbean accents and everything, Jamaican accents, obviously. Yeah, it'll be interesting to hear their perspectives too, considering they're not necessarily Black, but they are Caribbean, and knowing what living on the island was like when they grew up. Then I'm gonna be reading Alien Tyrant for the Beam Me Up book club. This is run by Ava from Ava Romance Books and Tiff from Tiff Talks Pages. I started this last night technically, but I didn't read that much because I was really tired. I'm so happy to be filming again, to be honest. I missed this. I missed talking to you guys. Some of these covers don't do justice. Apparently this alien guy has a tail. This cover just looks like a man with an axe. So anyway, so what I've gathered so far from the story is that this alien guy has like a alien name that I definitely won't be able to pronounce, Barudi? He's Barudi. He gets visited by this like creature, spirit god type thing that is well known in his community and on his planet. And this spirit god thing will take you to these like magical pools, and it will show you your fated mate. You just randomly get selected one night, and he's so excited to find out who his fated mate is. There's not a lot of women on his like planet, like around anymore. He sees this vision of a human woman. He has never seen a human before. He's like, who is this person? Where is she from? But he feels immediately like connected to her and all this stuff. Turns out this human woman is Cece, and she is a linguistics major? Linguistics? She's into like languages and stuff. I think she's doing her PhD on Earth. Doesn't know anything about aliens or space travel or anything, I don't think, as far as I can understand from the bit I read. But she gets kidnapped, and I think it's the government, like based off the synopsis, I'm pretty sure it's the government like sending her off into space to like communicate with aliens and stuff, because they don't have the technology to do, you know how like in other books, they just get put like an earpiece in, and or like get like shot with a laser in the eye, and then they can all understand all the languages. I don't think they have that. So they like need linguistic people that know languages to work with the aliens to like communicate. I think that's the gist of it. It's not just her. She's like with a group of people, but she gets separated from them and runs into our hero. He's like, I'm not leaving your side, but I don't think they can communicate yet. So I think it will be fun. It's not that long. I think it's like 250 pages. 230. So yeah, excited to read that and hear Tiff and Ava's opinions. And then maybe this time I'll make the live show. I really wanted to make the live show for the last book club pick that they did, but my friend from Staten Island was visiting Manhattan because she had a concert, and I rarely get to see her, and she invited me out before she was going to her concert to get drinks and dinner and stuff. She was inviting all like some of the other basketball girls that we know from college, and I just really didn't want to miss that opportunity. So I missed them talking about the book live, but hopefully I'll catch one of them these days. Either way, it's still fun to read the same books with them and just like their viewers and stuff like that. Okay, and the next thing that I should do before it starts getting out of hand and then I just give up is Zodiac Academy. So as you may know, I already read point 5, I think in December or January, and enjoyed it. But I had previously read book 1 last summer, I think, like months and months ago. So I really want to reread book 1 with the new information that I got from point 5, and then continue on to books 2 and 3, which I need to read to stay on schedule with Meredith's buddy read thing that's going on. I know Sam is trying to read them too. I don't know if Eliza's trying to read them, but I think Sam is gonna at least try point 5 and maybe 1. But either way, it was something that I was intrigued to do anyways, like continue that series in general, because I got really into book 1. Like, it was not romantic at all. Like, it's a fantasy romance series about these 2 twins who find out that they're fae, and in order to come into their inheritance, because they're like orphans and stuff, they have no money, they have no family, they have to complete this academy, which is basically a college, to get their inheritance. But they're also like the heirs to the throne, and there are these 4 families that are currently holding onto the throne since the king and queen died, you know, the twins' parents, and they don't want to give the power away. So their sons, who are like kind of the heirs, but like not really, like their tie to the throne isn't as strong as the twins. They don't want to give up their chance on power either, so they've been making the twins' lives miserable in the academy. So it's a bully romance, I guess. Why choose, but like, is it why choose? I guess it's why choose. Not a lot of romance though that's happened in book 1, but I'm intrigued. And then book 2 is book 1 from the boys' perspective. So also intrigued about that because I'm like, what's their motivation? What's their freaking deal? So I'll basically be reading the same story 3 times, from the first time to the reread to the same story from a different perspective. And then I have to read book 3, which I don't even know what book 3 is about. Or sorry, book 2. I have to read book 2. So that's 3 books. Oh wait, I'm confused. So it's book 1, 1.5, which is the boys' perspective. I was wrong. And then book 2. So that's 3 books. And I kind of want to do a reading series for it, but I gotta get on that. I want to do vlogs for them. Spoiler vlogs. But we'll see, because that's kind of a commitment. And it's been keeping me from reading them because I'm like, oh, I'm in the middle of a different vlog. Like, I don't want to start reading them until I'm ready to start a fresh vlog. So we'll see. I can't promise anything, okay? And then the last book that I'm going to talk about is a book that I mentioned in a vlog that I'm currently filming, but I haven't started, is A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair. This was supposed to be a buddy read with me, Monica, and Maddie. They read it literally last year, and I got caught up in, you know, booktube obligations and other events that I was doing, and it just didn't fit into any of those readathons and stuff like that. I was in the mood to start it, and I'm still like kind of in the mood to start it, but we'll see. It's definitely not my priority this month. My priority are my definite book club reads, and really I gotta get through Zodiac Academy, otherwise if I get too far behind, I'll just give up. This is a Hades and Persephone retelling. They are gods, but they're in the human world, I think. Persephone is a journalist, and Hades runs this gambling empire, and their lives cross. I don't know why, but I think they're fated to be together. I don't really know the original story that well. I think Persephone, you know, she's like the goddess of spring. And for whatever reason, she gets caught up in this deal with Hades where she has to spend half the year living in the underworld, and the other half she's like free to be wherever she wants to be, and that's why like spring is spring, and then winter comes and everything dies because she's in the underworld. Pretty sure that's the gist of the original, but not sure how this one's gonna be set up. My friends said they really enjoyed it, and I'm excited to finally read it, and then I'll just be able to just text them as I'm reading it and not have to worry about spoiling anything for them. I did that with another book that my friend Monica gifted me for Christmas, and it was so much fun to like read it and just like tell her, oh my god, I can't believe this part happened, or like, oh, this person is so sus, and da 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 da, and just be able to talk without worry with her about it. And yeah, that just made it more fun for me. So it's actually kind of nice to read them last. So those are all the books that I plan to read in March. Maybe I'll mood read some other books. I have a bunch of book of the month books that I want to get to that are like romances and stuff that I'm kind of in the mood to try to read because they've got good hype and reviews around them. But yeah, I really gotta prioritize other stuff, and it's like, when am I ever gonna read all the other big plans that I have? I've got like other series that I want to do like special videos for and stuff, but we will make time at some point in the year. The year just flies by so fast, okay? But that's all I have for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please feel free to leave this video a thumbs up and subscribe down below if you haven't already. I would greatly appreciate it. Obviously, it helps out my channel, and I will catch you in another video. Bye.